Yo, 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 what's up everybody? Welcome to ABOUTWELLBEIng podcast episode 13, and I can't believe I'm damn doing this podcast. Oh gosh, it's called, I'll be titling it something along the lines of how to send it as healthily as possible. And I've had quite a few requests and people just asking me like, can you please do a podcast on this? And it's basically to give people a chance for when they're drinking and taking drugs and staying out like late at night. Like, I do not condone drugs or alcohol at all. Like, I think for ultimate health and peak performance, you should not do either of them ever. And I hardly even drink. Anyway, this article is like purely for educational purposes, as everyone should have access to give themselves the best chance for health, regardless of the choices that they make. So a big favor as well, I'm going to ask for you guys, anyone who's listening to this, if you know anyone or if you found any beneficial to this podcast, please share it on your story. Say something like, oh, you party people, this may be beneficial to you, or listen to this if you go out, you know, something like that on your story would be great appreciated, because it's not just me like who need this. I strongly recognize that a lot of people from the age of like 17 to 30 really need to hear what is in this. So how I'm actually going to step through this podcast is I'm going to do a little intro first, as far as like how does like this all make sense and why I'm doing it. And then I'm actually going to get into like, I guess, the deep science section of, you know, what to do and how to send it, and basically how to be like as healthy as possible to actually do it and not destroy yourself in the process, because that is like the main thing. We're out here for health and optimal health and performance, and we know that going out is something that can be a great time, great for celebrations, but can also damage the health sometimes. So yeah, I'm also going to, yes, it's going to sound like as well like I'm slamming a lot of things, because, you know, a lot of all the other organizations and the news and stuff slam things, but I'm just going to be talking about the negative side effects of alcohol and all the rest of it. And basically I'm going to talk about the negative stuff, and then just to remind you, because I'm sure everyone already knows that, but I'm going to remind you on that, and then I'm going to get into as far as what you can do for like each one. So that's how I'm actually going to process that. So basically, you know, this body is the only one you get, so like please look after it. And don't mind me, I'm also looking at my notes right now because this was just too much to just go off the top of my head. So yeah, basically as well, to support your body as best as possible, I have a recipe ebook out, and you can buy that. There's a link in the show notes to this. I was doing all the research and things for this, and I was like, you know what, people just should really eat this, and that would like help them out the best, like as best as possible. And yes, please subscribe to the stuff if you find any of this beneficial, and my website. I also I'll have a link on my website called something, how to send it as healthily as possible, which has all the notes that you will want if you're going out to give yourself, you know, the best chance to be healthy as possible. Yeah, I really just recognize that no one actually tells you like, what the hell do I actually do and how do I keep healthy, because I'm going to be going out and doing all the stuff anyway. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna get into it. The main point of this whole podcast, like if there was one thing for you to take away, one damn thing, right, is just to recognize that alcohol, cocaine, MDMA, ecstasy, all the party drugs out there are a huge stimulus to your body, right? It's sympathetic. Sympathetic. What that means is that we know your body gets sympathetic or has a huge stress response basically when you go to the gym, when you're stuck in traffic, when you're in a crazy argument with someone, you know, work, relationship, whatever it is. It is when you get on stage and public speak. Anything where you're stressing out, you know, if you've got 1,000,001 things to do and you're freaking out, like whatever that is, or if you're running a Spartan race, doing a marathon, any of those things are like really high sympathetic responses. The same thing happens with drugs and alcohol. You get a huge, crazy response. And what I want to do is, a lot of bodybuilders and some of the best bodybuilders use this terminology that, like, as far as being able to recover and build muscle as best as possible, basically what you're doing with the gym is you're digging a hole. Every time you go to the gym, you're digging a hole because you're getting sympathetic. It's a huge stress response, and you're digging a hole. And then what the point of like all the recovery and the nutrition and the diet and like all the crazy stuff that we do, all the supplements, all the healthy stuff, the moving, the stretching, the saunaing, all that stuff basically fills the hole back up, right? Now, the thing is would you go to the gym from 9 o'clock at night until 5 o'clock in the morning? Fuck no, right? That's just, you just be like, no way, I'd be way too tired the next day. That's crazy. Well, that's basically like essentially what you're doing when you're going out, and if you're drinking a lot and you're getting on it, right? It's a huge stress response to the body, except you're not in your right mind, so you don't know that's happening. So what I want to get across to you is that if you're going to do that, basically number one is like be prepared, but two is build yourself a mountain, right? Get yourself so well rested and recovered, get yourself a mountain so that when you start digging the hole, right, you're digging from the mountain. And obviously, because you're doing something all night or whatever you're doing, you're going to get through the mountain and then dig yourself a hole, and then you're going to want to fill it back up the next day. That is the best analogy. Every time you go out, or every time you make a decision to drink or whatever you're doing, or you're going to go and, have a good time somewhere, or, do whatever you're doing, make sure you've got that sorted, all right? And I get it. I know what it's like. People were heading out, partying, having a good time. Everyone likes to get around a couple of cheeky lines. I get it. It's naughty. It's cheeky. Head to the toilets. Everyone experimenting when they're younger. Going out and drinking. It lets those confidence walls down, so you can go and talk to everyone and just to really let loose. So I understand where the drive to go out and just have the best time ever is, right? I mean, I guess Australia has a really, you could say good but bad culture of it at the same time, because people are out there destroying their damn health, and I am here to look after y'all. I care about y'all. So, yes, it's a huge stimulus to the body. Now, there is an opposite to sympathetic. Okay? So sympathetic's the stress response. The opposite is called parasympathetic. What parasympathetic means is when you're recovering. You're resting, you're digesting, you're building that mountain, you're filling that hole back in. That's like eating really good quality carbohydrates and really good quality food. Getting adequate, ridiculous amounts of sleep, right? You want to be getting some real good sleep. Hydration as best as possible. Doing things like going for a hike, spending times with loved ones, doing yoga, stretching, getting a massage, meditating. Meditating's a huge one. It's a huge one. Not being so distracted by phones and social media and, all the different gadgets that are around you. Literally taking time out for yourself is parasympathetic, which helps build that mountain up, which is what we want to do. And in 2020, when we have, literally I've got a watch on here that sends me notifications. I'm staring at this camera screen. I've got a computer screen. I've got my phone. Everything's just going nuts all the time. It's very hard to get into the parasympathetic state in general. And a lot of times we got jobs, fast-paced jobs from 8 to 16 hours a day. People are working like crazy. Monday to Friday, they get home, they're rushing around, going nuts, studying, trying to do all these crazy things, balance a social life, balance a relationship. And then they've got all the social media stuff. And then, oh God, I finally get to watch Netflix and chill out. You already have a hole. You know what I mean? So, and if you're trying to train, gym, do all the rest of it, oh my goodness, there's so much you have to do to look after your damn body. But the number one, this is the number one, the most important recommendation for all of this. Before I get into alcohol, cocaine, MDMA, or ecstasy, the most important thing to get for any of your sending it stuff is to get some damn sleep. What could be, I get it if you don't want and you like going out late and all that stuff, but seriously, please, for the love of God, get some sleep. If you can be someone who can just say to people, get good at going, no, I am not going to go out at night times and go clubbing. But for day sessions, I am in. And then hopefully your friends and your friendship group can just be you know what, day sessions are way more fun anyway. Let's do those. So by the time you finally get home, you can relax and get a good sleep in that parasympathetic state. Helps get you going. That is the biggest thing, is the sleep. Nothing good happens after 2 a.m. Your mum always says it. I don't know if you guys heard it, but my mum and dad always said it. Nothing good happens after 2 a.m. And I goddamn believe them. Yeah, especially if you start a little bit earlier. But yes, pre-drinks. Everyone goes to pre-drinks, then you leave pre-drinks and everyone gets spread out anyway. Pre-drinks are the best fun. Maybe sometimes just stay there, not head out. you could have more fun. Anyway, so that is the biggest one, and like I honestly hope you guys take that in, and I hope you take that in like not lightheartedly, because that is the most important thing ever. Like I can't stress it enough about getting some sleep, right? And also before like any sort of event, the best things you want to do is actually like increase your sleep log throughout the week as well. So if your event is on Saturday, you got a wedding, right? You should be getting to the bed the same night, early, every night from like Tuesday, really early. All those nights, because back up a sleep log, build that mountain up, and then even of the day of the wedding, take a nap, sleep in. Like do whatever you can to get as much sleep as possible before starting like the event, whatever you're doing. That is the honest biggest thing that you could do for your health. Sleep is like regeneration for your cells in your body. So if you're on top of that, you're going to be feeling better than anyone else. That is like the biggest thing. All right. So that's the biggest thing that can build the mountain as best as possible. All right. So now we're going to get into it. I'm going to start off with alcohol and get into that bad boy. So basically, like I've got some notes here. It's like, why is alcohol bad for you? Alcohol is probably like, literally, if you're binge drinking, it's one of the worst things that you can take. So one of the biggest things, like also mentioned with that sympathetic state, is that it's a huge stimulus to the body. Like I've already talked about that. And alcohol is a massive one, especially to your nervous system. Not good. It's super inflammatory. There's heaps of sugar in alcohol, and then when you're drinking lots of it, it starts to like just real get into your stuff. So it messes with all the serotonin and the dopamine in your brain. And if you don't know what they are, they're like happy and pleasure chemicals, make you feel happiness and stuff. It also damages, it's cancer promoting, damages your heart, makes your heart fatty, puts on weight like crazy, messes with your hormones, rips the inside of your stomach lining apart. And if you don't know that your stomach actually has more neurons than your brain, so anything that's bad that happens to you, like has more neurons than your brain and your spine combined. People say it's your second brain, but I really think it's your first. And if it's wrecking all this stuff in there, and also all your brain chemicals are created in your guts. Serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, all those things, like a majority of them are created in your stomach. And when your brain needs them, it sends it to your stomach, and your stomach sends the hormones up to your brain so your brain can use them. If your stomach is destroyed or not very good, it's not going to send those things up, which is not optimal, and your brain isn't going to work properly. Hence the huge causes for anxiety and depression. But it also affects like erectile dysfunction. Malnutrition is really bad for skin, blood vessels, digestive system. I said the guts, they get screwed around. The circulatory system goes nuts, high blood pressure, all the rest of it. It's such a huge response to the body. It's massive, and it also crashes your immune system and makes you get the worst sleep ever. And after a long period of time, alcohol promotes a whole lot of visceral fat, which is all fat around your organs, which are not good, and like makes your skin go grey and all the rest of it. So you want to make sure that you're good. You want to make sure that you're prepared before you start drinking. Like, my God. And basically, this is just huge. This blew my mind. So the worst thing to drink, right? Okay, how's this? If you're a dude and you're listening to this, how much do you like having beers with the boys? Beers, lads. But you love having beers with the boys when you do have a session. Beer is the worst thing you can drink. It significantly destroys testosterone. You have, high testosterone if you're getting around your mates, but it destroys your testosterone and supercharges the estrogen. For a guy, that is the worst. Our beer is by far the worst thing that you can drink. I did all the studies on it this week, and I kept looking at like, what's the worst? And it was just like beer. Like, stay away from beer. And you're like, damn it, because beer is like great, not good. Want to stay away. But obviously, if you're gonna have beers with your mates, you just want to be making sure you're doing all these things. But if you can, like, avoid it at all costs. What you want to do is be drinking even wine. People say wine is really good for you, like white wine. No. Full of crazy sugar. Even red wine, if you wanted the benefits for all the polyphenols and stuff, you take resveratrol, or you'd just eat the grapes. Like, with the alcohol and all the stuff in there, wine, no good either. I'm so sorry, girls, and I'm so sorry, mum. And anyone who likes a good vino. But in saying so, The 4 like best things to drink is gin, tequila, vodka, or red wine, out of all things considering. What you do is you really just want to have them straight with water or mineral water, and you want to have them with cucumber, celery, lime, and pineapple. Now, do not mix alcohol with juices. Stay away from that. That is like the worst thing you can do. It's worse for you than like soda. Oh my gosh, I just looked at the research of it and I was like, oh, I'm never having like a vodka pineapple juice ever again. You're best off just putting like real pineapple in there and eating it. Don't stay away from the juice stuff. Not a good. When you're on it too, you want to avoid, so this is all the science research stuff. So that's basically what you want to drink. And there's a whole bunch of reasons for why you want to drink the things like cucumber and stuff like that. Like you just really want to be, they do say like there's a few things, but one of them is obviously you want to be hydrated before you're drinking because like it dehydrates you. But it's not just that. Alcohol strips like a couple of different minerals out your body, and it also restricts GABA out of your brain, right? So there's a few different things that you can do in order to combat that, and having like a bunch of vegetables and things like whilst you're drinking is extremely handy. But what you want to avoid as well is high omega-6 foods. Omega-6 foods increase damage to cells with alcohol. So like basically, you know, what are high omega-6 foods? And that is like high fat meats, high saturated fat meats, which are no good, like poultry, and especially things like, not so much like, you know, chicken breast because there's not much fat in it, but like a chicken skin, like a KFC chicken skin. I'm just going to Google high omega-6 foods because I always forget. Yeah, things like tofu, hemp seeds, sunflower seeds, peanut butter, avocado oil, not avocados, but avocado oil, safflower oil. You want to stay away from vegetable oil. You want to stay from anything deep fried. Anything deep fried. Vegetable oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, all of those, stay away. Yeah. You want to be having like, obviously omega-3 fats, which is things like, well, also as well, some things you want to stay away from is soy, corn, sunflower oil, vegetable oil, nuts and seeds. And I know that you guys are going to hate me when I say KFC, stay away from it. The reason you crave it is because of salt. And you really need the salt to get in there because there's a certain mineral in salt which actually needs to be replaced, which is one of the things that alcohol zaps out of your damn bloodstream. And KFC, chicken, and the chicken skin especially, but also the chicken, the worst. The worst. Avoid at all costs if possible, people. Avoid it. Make something, this is food you want to eat, this is when you eat instead. You want to have eggs, salmon, Greek yogurt, bone broth. So Greek yogurt and bone broth are really good because they have probiotics and it helps protect and line your stomach. Gin is probably, I think, the best alcohol to drink because gin does also have like crazy amount of polyphenols which also help protect your stomach as well. Berries, asparagus, grapefruit, avocado, not avocado oil, and lots of green, dark, leafy vegetables. So basically all those things are like high in omega-3 content, high in antioxidants, and high in things that are going to help get all the stuff moving and are good for your guts. Bone broth is amazing. Like there's a reason why I'm always on it all the time. Bone broth is one of the best things you can have for it. Okay, so what do you want to have before you're drinking? Alright, so you want to have basically a huge fish salad with a whole bunch of veggies. Something like mixed dark green leafy veggies, spinach, kale, collard greens, all of those things. Salmon or barramundi, avocado, grapefruit with a bit of bone broth on top. Boom. Alright, if you want actually the recipes, you want some good recipes for that stuff, literally all the recipes in my ebook are what you're going to want to eat, basically. Minerals for preparation. So yeah, what you want to do is before you get going is what I tell all my clients to have first thing in the morning, and that is 600 to 700 mils of a large water with a pinch of Celtic salt and half a squeeze of lemon. Boom, hydration. The Celtic salt is just like the highest mineral content salt, and the lemon also helps, has a bunch of things in there as well, and boom, you want to get that in. And even if you really want to take it to the next level, celery juice, if you got a juicer. Woo! So, supplements, what do you want to take? So, these are the main things that you want to get. You want to get probiotics, melatonin, and magnesium. Probiotics are going to protect your gut, melatonin is going to help you get into a damn sleep, and magnesium is also going to help your body recover, and also alcohol strips out a whole bunch of magnesium too. So there are some supplements that are so key. I'm going over this quickly, but this stuff is like researched and legit. Probiotics, melatonin, magnesium. Man, that's what you're going to want. Okay, adrenal support. So, another huge thing that just alcohol and all the other stuff do as well is like smash your adrenals. Anything that's a massive stimulus to the body, sympathetic state, can use a lot of adrenals. They're like these glands that sit on top of your kidneys and they're just pumping out cortisol. Cortisol is like get you going. Or if you're freaking out, stuck in traffic, cortisol gets you amped up, basically. So, adrenal support. Medicinal honey. House of Health, Central Markets. They got the jellybush honey, the best, Manuka honey you can get. Anything raw organic or any of that stuff is great. Now, the adrenal support you're going to want to have like either during the day, so your adrenals are really handy, or like the next morning. Also, you could also even have before bed. So the best things for that is medicinal honey, St. Mary's milk thistle. So alcohol extremely gets into your liver and like. Oh, it just smashes your liver, hey. Your liver like literally stops focusing on breaking down everything else in your body, fats, toxins and all that stuff, and just worries about getting rid of the alcohol. And the alcohol is like super damaging to all your liver cells. So your liver starts like breaking down. It's like, no, please, no. St. Mary's milk thistle, boom, is a huge support system for your liver. Vitamin C, you don't take that before bed, ruin your sleep, but vitamin C, immune system boost, collagen boost, skin, fascia, really good for that type of stuff. You want to be as healthy as possible. That's going to help build the mountain up. Ashwagandha and reishi mushroom, you can mix that in your bone broth, or even best of the bone broth has like a reishi, like a medicinal mushroom one. Just take that. But ashwagandha and reishi, any adrenal supplements are basically just jacked with ashwagandha. It's also called Wistanthia, something like that. You want a lot of that. You can get tablets from Chemist Warehouse, things like that, of just like pure ashwagandha or Wistanthia, and that'll help you out heaps. Also, herbal tea for adrenals is licorice root, maca root, marshmallow root, and Siberian ginseng. I smash licorice root because it actually tastes awesome, but any of those in a tea, herbal tea, you should be drinking in the day, drinking during your drinking, like whatever it is, that'll help your stuff out. There's two adrenal supplements which are really good, called Adrenal RX from ATP Science and Adrenal Switch from Switch Nutrition. They've got like a whole load of ashwagandha in them, plus a few other things that also help the absorption and also support your adrenals as well. So, what to do? Get as much sleep as possible leading up to your event. I've already said that. Get that damn sleep in. Organise it. Please, for the love of God, just organise it. The 2 to 3 days beforehand, get as much sleep as possible. The day of, damn nap. Like, organise it. You'll protect yourself. All right. Work out the day of, the night, move as much as possible, and work out the next morning. It helps your body have a better glucose response to all the alcohol because, you're taking in so much glucose and it's so inflammatory, you kind of really want to get rid of it. So you need to be moving the whole time. And as much as it sucks, if you do a head and a hangover, just get out there, get some moving so that your body has a way better glucose response. You don't want a huge one in your blood. Not good for you. So you want to move whilst you're drinking. Yes, you really want to meditate during the day before or the day of. Set some time, and also sunlight and cold shower. Definitely, if you can get a cold shower before bed, get into that. If not, during the day, and also the next day, cold shower, little shock to the system, and also sunlight. Sunlight gets into your eyes, UVs, and also stops, just basically resets a bunch of things. Serotonin can get back online. So you make sure you want to get some sunlight, basically as soon as you wake up. Go and see the damn sun. Make sure you're getting enough to that. So before drinking, as we've said that, get as much sleep, take a nap, work out, have a better glucose response, and then there's also three really important things that you want to do prior to drinking, and that is N-acetylcysteine, NAC, 1 gram of vitamin C, I think it's 1 gram, is it? I don't know, just like maybe 2 vitamin C tablets, and St. Mary's milk thistle, the NAC, the N-acetylcysteine, I've kind of forgot, but I'm pretty sure it supports your brain somehow. I'm pretty sure that's what it does. It might do something else. All I know is that where I got this from, I was researching, and I was like, okay, this is probably one of the best things that you can ever do. So right before drinking, N-acetylcysteine, NAC, vitamin C, St. Mary's milk thistle. During drinking, make sure you're getting them electrolytes in. So, how can you do that? Quality organic salt or Celtic sea salt. Seriously, it's Celtic or Celtic, however you want to say it, sea salt is the best stuff. Put it in your water, put it in your drinks even. If you're doing like a gin and like a lime, just put some salt in there. Great. Coconut water is awesome. Get on the Baroccas or the hydration tablets. unreal. Any of those minerals, the best. Alcohol zaps them. Unreal, yes. Get around those whilst you're drinking. Be prepared. Have a little cess pack. I've got like a little thing at the end of this that you can see when you're online on my website that has like all the list of stuff that you want to get. At the end of the night, melatonin, help you get to sleep. Magnesium. Here is 2 huge key things that you want to get. Matcha powder or L-theanine. Matcha is the highest in L-theanine. And one of the things, like when alcohol zaps whatever the main mineral is out your body, this comes from On It, by the way, Aubrey Marcus, what a man, found that beans are really high in that compared to everything else, whatever that thing is that takes out. So you want to have, it's called like monohydride something, I can't bloody say it. But matcha powder and hummus is great for that. You can literally just mix them together. Like just get some matcha powder, you can get that anywhere. And you can also, matcha, hummus, mix together. It's just like a little green hummus thing. You want to have that before you go to bed and when you wake up. Because what happens is the L-theanine helps promote GABA. Your brain is not going to make any GABA whilst on alcohol. It's used all of it up. And also the melanohydrolysine, whatever it's called, that comes out of beans, is all used up as well. So if you're mixing them together, it's going to help you get a way better sleep. As well with the magnesium, melatonin. Apple cider vinegar with the mother, the actual stuff, like not just like the apple cider vinegar, it's clear, it should have like stuff all through it, and look a little bit like, oh, it looks moldy in there. That's a good thing. So that apple cider vinegar in there with the mother is going to strongly support your guts and help remove and get rid of any of the shit. You want to get that in. Bone broth. Huge. Bone broth is so good. Protects your stomachs, probiotics. It's full of essential things that are good for your brain, good for your body, good for your skin, good for like just your overall health in general. That is going to help fill up your hole. Then also liver powder or liver capsules. You can get them from Best to the Bone or Grassland Nutrition. Liver has a whole bunch of just like the crazy vitamins that get zapped out of your body once you're drinking. Liver powder is godly for when you're drinking. So at the end of the night, melatonin, magnesium, matcha, hummus, apple cider vinegar with the mother, bone broth, liver powder. I'm not sure what kind of concoction you're gonna make with that, but hey, it'll help you. What to do in the morning? Hydration hangover cure. This is research heaps. Celery juice, fresh ginger, lemon, the good salt, Celtic salt, coconut water, a pear, and a kiwi fruit. Blend that up. If you want to find out exactly what that was, look at the show notes or the article that I'll link into the show notes. Look at that. Celery juice, fresh ginger, lemon, salt, coconut water, pear, kiwi fruit. On it did the research for that. That's what you want to have. Round 2, so in the morning, what you want to do again is have the matcha powder, hummus, kidney beans or red lentils, apple cider vinegar with a mother, bone broth, liver powder. And then go out and get moving. That is how you drink as best as possible, set yourself up for the best chance of health, and protect yourself as best as possible in the long run for all of that type of stuff, you know, because basically all of these things of research and make a bunch of sense. If all of these things getting zapped out from your body, if your adrenals are getting slammed, if your brain's getting slammed, if your guts are getting slammed and your organs are also taking a huge toll and your liver's going, help me, these are the things that you're going to want to do in order to support that. So this comes in handy as well, not just for drinking, but anything that does have any of these effects, which is one of the main things that I want to get on the body. Like going to the gym all the time is a huge stress on the body as well. That's why all this recovery stuff is so important. All right, so next one is MDMA and ecstasy. So, man, I hear people so many times talk about MDMA and ecstasy and be like, oh, get the pure stuff. It's like not even that bad for you. Firstly, getting the pure stuff is like next to near impossible. We all know that unless it comes from like a legitimate pharmacy. And secondly, they've done all the studies and they've done all the research, and what actually happens is that when you're one of the symptoms of MDMA and ecstasy is that it releases all your serotonin. So the next day you need to get it back. And that is a massive, also has a massive nervous system response, but it doesn't just release all the serotonin, it actually burns the end off of the receptors for your serotonin as well. So that is something that you really want to use with care. Like as best as possible, be very mindful around it. I like to say that everything is like a ceremony and like you want to respect everything. I mean, there's a reason that people say don't abuse alcohol, don't abuse drugs. Or like, what's the abusing part? And it's just going nuts on it. It's just not being awake as far as what's actually happening, what's going on for my body. Because a lot of people think, oh, you know what? drugs and alcohol is a real good time, and then people be like, no, this actually happens to your body, and then people just turn a blind eye to it. Please don't turn a blind eye to it. Like, put your health first. And like, I get it, I understand people going out, doing all this stuff, doing what you want to do. Like, I get it, I'm here to help you. But yeah, don't turn a blind eye to your health. Like, just be mindful and just take the practices, like everything that I try to do as far as meditation, gym, eat, like all the rest of that, all that stuff. I really try to just be mindful around everything that I'm doing and understanding the consequences and the reactions and, you know, the good and the bad things that happen from every single choice that I make. Your ego gets the best of you all the damn time, and it evolves and get better, and it's your job to go and chase that bad boy. So it's one of the things to be like just mindful of. Like, so yeah, after basically a long time use, it's just like destroys a bunch of your stuff. But it's real bad for your blood pressure, and it's extremely bad for your heart. You don't actually know what's in any of this stuff. I know you've been told this a million times, but you don't know what's in it, and it's very, you know, contradictive for what's actually happening. But yeah, some of the systems, the main system is that it's a huge nervous system response. It's really bad for your brain chemicals, and it also is not good for your blood pressure, your heart, and some of your organs, right? But it's really bad for the serotonin receptors in your brain. So thinking about that, if these types of symptoms are happening, what could you do to support those symptoms as best as possible? If your serotonin was all bad, your heart's getting bad, your blood pressure's skyrocketing, and you're having a huge response to your nervous system, what do you want to do about those things? Well, basically, the meals to support your brain and your body is eggs, salmon, turkey, pineapples, nuts, and dark green leafy vegetables like broccoli, spinach, and bok choy. Bok choy is such a good dark green leafy vegetable. Do the research on that. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, eggs have got all the omega-3s and the proteins and the essential minerals and stuff in there. So does salmon. Turkey has a whole bunch of like serotonin releasing things. Like, so does pineapple and nuts. Like, all of these foods boost serotonin, which is really good if you're lacking in it. Minerals, again, you want to be hydrated before doing anything. Some of the symptoms from taking MDMA ecstasy is that you get dehydrated really quickly. So making sure that you're hydrated properly, and it's not just water that's hydration, it's the salts that are in them, as we said beforehand, why the hydration tablets are so handy. So before, if you're going to have any of those symptoms, one of the best things to be doing is definitely hydrating and having Celtic salt, lemon in there. Boom! Another real good one to protect your brain and body. So 5-HTP and probiotics are the two of the best supplements to help protect your mind and your body from serotonin getting rid of. 5-HTP directly correlates back into serotonin, so it's extremely handy to have. You can get it off like bulk nutrients. Probiotics protect your stomach, and so does bone broth, and obviously serotonin is made in your stomach. So if serotonin was to get drained, 5-HTP and probiotics are something that you would definitely want to be taking and making sure that you're taking to increase that, y'all. So yeah, what to do during the next day when all of those things are happening is move. Is like, you want to do just like, if your serotonin is extremely low, the next day what you're going to want to do is move heaps. Exercise, go to the gym, get you up, get a massage. That increases serotonin levels like crazy. Stretch, like actually do a big stretching yoga session, release all, because what happens is when you release all the tension from your muscle fibers and fascias and stuff, it releases a bunch of serotonin, hence why the massage is so important. And also meditate. Being away from distraction and light and just chilling out, not being on your phone or anything like that, like literally meditating and just letting your mind be where it wants to be, helps reset all your brain chemicals. Brings up serotonin, like it's so handy for that. So they're the main things you want to do if you're getting any symptoms that are decreasing your serotonin. So, next one, cocaine. I'm in love with the coca. Oh God, I had to say it. What a song. So anyway, cocaine, what does this one do? Well, this is like probably the biggest adrenal and nervous system response that your body can go through. Not a very good for you. So yeah, this is why like a lot of people who are dopamine brained, who like achieving success, and athletes and stuff, you find sometimes are people that get around it. Cocaine is yeah, I'm just going to slam it a little bit. It's the more I look into the research, I'm just like, oh my god. Firstly, you never know what's in there. It's not the pure stuff. We're not living in Colombia. Not a good. Cocaine removed, basically like gets rid of all the blood that's supposed to be in your organs, gets rid of it. Burns a whole bunch of things off in your brain, uses mainly dopamine, which is your reward system. So anytime you do something, to-do list, you're like, oh, I feel good. That's like dopamine released. Or when someone likes me a photo on Instagram, you're like, yeah. Or someone sends you a message or slides into your DMs, hey honey, you're like, oh, it feels good. Yeah, that's dopamine hitting up. And yeah, basically cocaine just smashes that. The cocaina, yeah, blood away from your organs, not good, need them in there. Nervous system response, so literally from like your brain all the way down, all the nerves in your body and stuff, smashes them. They get an absolute hammering, burns them off. Also has, yeah, brain stuff, like can grow really bad things in the old brain skis, and is extremely bad for your heart. Extremely bad for your heart, as well as where was it? I'm looking through my notes here. Bad for your heart and extremely bad for anxiety and depression. Super bad for anxiety and depression, same as alcohol, same as MDMA or ecstasy. Cocaine is probably the worst one. Well, I couldn't say it's the worst one. It depends how much you're drinking, y'all. But cocaine is definitely extremely bad for depression and anxiety because it's using up all the stuff. It's doing it's burning stuff off in your brain. It's smashing your nervous system. It's actually, I think it's really bad for your blood as well as some things in like your blood cells as well, getting in there. And it's also bad for your guts because people end up, if they're swallowing, sniffing it or whatever they're doing, it gets into your stomach. And then it's like destroys a bunch of your stomach lining. So, what are you gonna do about that? So, as far as if dopamine is removed from your brain, if stuff's getting burnt off, if your nervous system's getting slammed, your heart's getting slammed, your gut's getting slammed, your blood's getting slammed, what do you want to do about that? Well, one of the main things is you don't want to eat food that is high in saturated fat because that helps increase all the bad stuff. You want to stay away, especially from the day of and the day after. Bacon. No cooked bacon. No! Steak. Excessive amounts of coconut oil. Anything fried. Chicken skin is the worst. KFC, stay away! I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for telling you to stay away from KFC. As much as you love it, as much as I love it. Can't be doing it when you're getting on sesh. Cannot be doing it. Butter. You want to stay away from butter, ice cream, dairy, and whey protein. Oh, what protein am I going to have? Hydrolyzed collagen protein, bone broth, eggs, salmon, all of that good stuff. Yeah, so those foods that you're definitely not going to want to eat, especially if you're having things like low dopamine, nervous system response. Adrenals, the biggest one with this is like adrenals, your adrenals, heart, guts, not good. So foods that you want to do is really stick to salmon and increase your omega-3s. So omega-3s and stuff actually like heal a bunch of things in your brain, if you didn't know that. So you want to get high in the omega-3s. Salmon and some good quality salmon. Try not to get anything that's not wild caught. Yes, it has omega-3s, but the salmon eats, like the way they're farmed, eats its own shit. Not good. You want to get the wild stuff, which is best, but obviously if worse comes worse, just damn get it. Barramundi, super good. Kangaroo is awesome. It's very lean and it's not high in any of the bad saturated fats. Low fat mince. If worse comes to worse, you can always get really low fat mince. Eggs and egg whites, really good. Hydrolyzed collagen protein, especially for when you're smashing your adrenals and when your adrenals, your nervous system's getting smashed, like aminos are really handy. And what are aminos? Protein. So if you're like, even if you really wanted and you're having like, you know, these symptoms, what you'd want to do is get some EAAs. EAAs are real handy. It's protein in its most digested form. Not BCAAs. Not BCAAs. Your body usually has enough of those from food. I said EAAs, whatever it is. EAA? Yeah, EAAs. That is what you want to have. But hydrolyzed collagen protein that you get from like bone broth and from all that stuff, the best. Again, what to have beforehand is if your nervous system is getting smashed, blood pressure's up, and blood flow's going like crazy and all those different things, and you're getting hot, you need to sweat, you need to get hydrated. 600 to 700 mils of water, large pinch of Celtic salt, and half a lemon, baby. That's the good stuff. Cool. Again, with all the brain stuff. Some of these effects are similar to alcohol. You can try the matcha powder, the hummus and the kidney beans, the apple cider vinegar, bone broth, and the liver powder. It has all the good things to have before bed, which will promote GABA and will put a bunch of things back into your system, which are really good. Supplements. So the best supplements for these responses, there's 3 supplements which are the absolute best. And that is tyrosine, which is the precursor to dopamine. Tyrosine helps bring up dopamine, really good. Probiotics. So they help affect the brain, send all the chemicals to the brain, and also protect your gut. You want to be on those probiotics. And also for mood and like dopamine and the rest of it, and your adrenals and your testosterone, especially if you're a guy, vitamin D. And that is, you don't want to take vitamin D at night. If you are planning on going out one night, you want to be taking vitamin D in the morning. Make sure you're getting enough sun. And also the next day, vitamin D, get some sun, because your body absorbs a lot of vitamin D through your skin, and it's mainly in your chest or your back. So adrenal support. So these are the best things. I mentioned them before with the drinking, but these are the best things for adrenal support. Medicinal honey, raw organic honey, jellybush honey, House of Health Central Markets, really good. St. Mary's milk thistle, good for your liver, adrenal supporting as well. Vitamin C gets right up there in the morning. Don't have it at night time, not so good for your sleep, but if you have them in the morning during the day, you get that vitamin C in your blood, really good. Ashwagandha and reishi, those medicinal mushrooms are a godsend. They're literally like, I've been coached by some pretty gnarly people, and they even say as soon as your adrenals are down or your readiness score is down from your Oura ring or whatever it is, or you're not feeling ultimate, you know you're having a bit of adrenal fatigue, ashwagandha and reishi, smash them. I like putting them in my bone broths because it's super tasty. Again, what you can do for a herb is, these actually have all of these have nuts research behind them. You can have a look at yourself. Licorice root, maca root, marshmallow root, and Siberian ginseng. As well as adrenal supporting, the marshmallow and the licorice root are also really good for your stomach. So if you can get like a mix of those teas and mix them together and make a herbal tea and drink those, if you're having any of the stuff where you're going to be using a lot of adrenals, that's going to help you out as best as possible. And what to do? Again, exercise, move. Make sure you're getting sleep. For the love of God, make sure you're getting sleep. Meditate, get some sunlight, have a cold shower. Those are the things that you're going to want to do again, as well as if you're having the symptoms of a lack of dopamine, your heart's going crazy, if your stomach's going to be damaged, your nervous system's going to be damaged, and your adrenals are going to be absolutely slammed. Those are things that you want to do. Like, I do all this stuff in my coaching as well, just to get people as optimal as possible, because I think building that mountain is like the best thing that you can do. So by incorporating all of these things, it's so handy. And as well, with all those foods that I was mentioning to eat, if you're like, oh, what do I cook out of these? What do I do? Honestly, just buy my recipe ebook. It's $25. You can get a link in the thing. And there's literally 70 recipes that has all of this in there. And if you just like stick to those and get to a habit of eating those all the time, hey, this is good on you. I'm not saying that to promote my own thing. Like, I'm literally just saying, like, if there was a resource that you would like to use that. Or you can look at the 26 ingredient shopping lists on my website, which is for free, or the total ingredient shopping list for health and performance, something like that. On my website, you can look at that one for free. But again, there's no recipes in there, but they've got all the ingredients basically you want to be eating. But you've seen the ones in here that you want to stick to. Basically, it's like eat some salmon and barramundi. But there's obviously other stuff in there. So, lastly but not least, I'm just going to go over what you want to have in, like, I guess, a health session survivor pack goodie bag is what I've called it. Some medicinal honey, St. Mary's milk thistle. Get a pen and paper out. If you're on here, quickly pause, come back, I wait. Welcome back. Pen and paper, write this out, or you can just go on the link. Medicinal honey, St. Mary's milk thistle, vitamin C, ashwagandha and reishi, licorice root, maca root, marshmallow root, and Siberian ginseng, Adrenal RX by ATP Science, Adrenal Switch by Switch Nutrition, matcha powder or L-theanine. Matcha is the most natural way of consuming it, so maybe do that one. You can get pure GABA, as I mentioned beforehand, GABA from alcohol and GABA from anything that's dopamine taking away from your mind. GABA can help promote all that good stuff. You can just buy that from Bulk Nutrients. How good. Hummus, apple cider vinegar, bone broth. You can get a 12% off discount of the bone broth, best of the bone. If you go to my website and just scroll down, there's a link there if you want to use that. If not, there's a million bone broths out there. You go to Coles, go to health shops, you can get them all. But honestly, best of the bone is the best one because it's Australian, grass-fed, happy cows, and it's boiled in an old way, so you get all the good stuff in there. So I do promote that one. I love that bone broth. Liver powder, you can get it from Best of the Bone or Grassland Nutrition. So we were at liver powder. Just come back and lost you for a second. Liver powder, and explain why that was really good. Tyrosine, really good for dopamine, increases it. Probiotics and vitamin D are both essentials. For probiotics to look after your stomach and look after your brain chemicals. Vitamin D is extremely good for energy. 5-HTP replaces or helps as a precursor to serotonin. Coconut water is hydrating. Celtic salt is hydrating. Lemon is really good for all the stuff. And veggies and meals. You've got to be eating those veggies and meals. And if you want to find them, again, you can check out my recipe ebook. It's up to you if you actually want to buy it or not, but if you click on the link, you can see what's in it and all the good stuff, and that is completely up to you. If not, again, as I said, you can check out my 26 ingredient shopping list or my total ingredient shopping list for high performance. That's just got a bunch of ingredients. If not, you just want to be making your meals all around these. Again, guys, for all of the stuff that was on here, I've put it up. There's a link on my website. You can go and have a look at all of this stuff there and use it basically as best as you need. Yeah, because I think people really need to know this stuff, because people are just going to go out there and, you know, make the choices that they need to make anyway. And I sort of taken some responsibility to look after you, because I know that I really want you to prioritize your health first, because I really tried to prioritize mine. And I think that, you know, as far as my hierarchy goes, that methodology that I made, getting your health straight is the best thing, so you can make impact and, you know, wherever it needs to be in your life, and get to high performance and actually transcend your life, overcome yourself, and live the best total optimized human you can be, right? You can live as one of those if you're doing all of this stuff. So be mindful of this. I hope you learned something. If you learned something, please subscribe. If you didn't, then y'all just tell me to get booked. But yeah, all seriousness, guys, thank you for listening. Please share this on your story. Say, I know some people who need this. All my party people need this. All you sesh gremlins, make sure you listen to this one. I'd be extremely grateful for that. Thank you so much. And yeah, see you in the next one, guys. Sending some big love your way.